Something is shifting in the serene hills of Montecito. And it's not just another celebrity headline. It's Meghan Markle herself quietly preparing to abandon the very California paradise she once championed as her sanctuary. This was supposed to be her retreat, her fresh start away from the media storm. But now, sources are saying it's becoming more of a nightmare. The sprawling Montecito mansion, once a symbol of Meghan's rebirth, complete with rescue chickens, yoga sessions, and Oprah-style reinvention, is starting to look like a mistake. A failure. You heard that right. What was once the embodiment of California bliss is now turning into a symbol of everything Meghan tried to escape. The Duchess, according to insiders, is actively searching for a new place to call home. No, not another vacation home or investment property. This is about escape. It's a retreat from the chaos. Once the darling of the Santa Barbara elite, Meghan now faces a social wall colder than the winter winds sweeping through Montecito. The whispers, which were once just rumors about neighbors being tired of the Markle circus, are now full-blown headlines. The invitations to exclusive charity events have stopped. The brunches? Not happening. The people Meghan thought she'd be sipping mimosas with have quietly made their disapproval known. She's no longer welcome in their circles. And it's not just awkwardness. No, this is strategic exclusion. A direct cold shoulder. But here's where it gets even more shocking. Meghan isn't just leaving for the sake of moving. She's exploring new locations both in the US and abroad. Texas, Colorado. There are even whispers of a European pivot. Anywhere that offers peace, away from the paparazzi and the never-ending drama. Anywhere that doesn't come with the sting of rejection from the people who once welcomed her with open arms. This isn't just about a failed home. It's about a failed brand. Meghan sold Montecito to the public. She framed it as her sanctuary, her safe space, her new life. But now, that same home has become a tombstone to her reinvention. And the real reason behind it, behind that pretty white picket fence, is Netflix. The once great ally that's now waving the white flag. The streaming giant's $100 million deal with the Sussexes was meant to be a royal hit. Meghan and Harry, the new face of Hollywood royalty. But the reality has been anything but. What they got instead was a documentary filled with complaints and underwhelming projects. The very content Meghan and Harry once promised. It's a massive flop. It's been a PR disaster, and Netflix execs are reportedly calling it an expensive mistake. They've invested millions and seen very little return. The numbers don't lie, and the verdict from within the company, they overpromised and underdelivered. Ouch, the internal memos at Netflix? Brutal. In the industry, that's a one-way ticket out. Hollywood doesn't mince words, and neither do the execs at Netflix. Meghan and Harry aren't just being judged for their content. They're being judged for their behavior. It's no secret that they're considered high maintenance, demanding, and thin-skinned by the people who actually make the industry run. They bring baggage, not viewers. One senior figure allegedly said, but it's not just Netflix. It's everything. Archewell, Meghan and Harry's foundation, which they pitched as the engine of their good works, is now bling staffed. 11 key employees in less than a year have packed up and left. It's not a restructuring. This is a collapse. And the most shocking departure. James Holtz, a loyalist who moved his entire life to help build the Sussex empire, is now gone. Sources say the internal environment at Archewell is chaotic and toxic. The goals keep shifting, the demands are impossible, and the culture, it's one of fear. Publicly, they claim it's all part of a strategic pivot. Privately, no one believes it. When your entire team jumps ship, that's not a pivot. That's a sinking ship. And let's talk about Montecito, the neighbors who Meghan once thought would be her closest allies. They paid millions for the tranquility of the area. What they didn't sign up for: sirens, paparazzi drones, helicopter flyovers, a non-stop media circus. And they're over it. The community has made it clear. Take the drama somewhere else. Security incidents only add fuel to the fire. Multiple reports of intrusions at the Sussex property have triggered law enforcement responses, causing disruptions in the whole neighborhood. Neighbors are reporting strange cars, increased traffic, and a general sense of unease. This isn't the quiet, affluent lifestyle Montecito promises. And Meghan knows it. But here's the kicker. The very people she wanted to impress, the elite of Montecito, have iced her out. This is the crowd Meghan has always wanted to be a part of. The rich, the quietly powerful. And they've frozen her out. She's no longer part of their circle. She's the person they avoid. That rejection is more than just social. It's reputational. In Hollywood, relevance is currency, and without it, you're done. And the press in the UK, they're watching it all unfold, and let's be honest, they're enjoying every second of it. All the signs they predicted are now becoming undeniable facts. Every failed deal, every staff departure, every whisper of tension, it's all front-page material. And the media is having a field day. But here's the real drama behind the headlines, Harry. Harry, who left everything behind for Meghan, his family, his country, his title, for a future built on the promise of reinvention. But now, that future is rapidly disintegrating, and Harry, well, sources say is starting to question the decisions that led them here. He's starting to wonder if the sacrifices were worth it. The royal exit, the public fallout, the partners they alienated, and it's showing. In his public appearances, Harry looks uncomfortable. He looks like a man who bet everything and lost. The fairy tale they envisioned is quickly becoming a nightmare, and he's realizing it too late. Meanwhile, the financial strain is mounting. That Montecito mansion, a whopping $14 million, with annual running costs that stretch into the millions, and yet the money isn't flowing in. Spotify, gone. Netflix, frozen. Brand deals, vanished. Insiders say panic is setting in. Meghan and Harry are now seriously considering options they once deemed beneath them. They're scrambling for a way out. The lifestyle they've built, the designer clothes, the private jets, the lavish security requires a steady income stream. And that stream? It's drying up. Behind closed doors, it's a mess. Executives are labeling them grifters after the Spotify deal fell apart. And that label? It's sticking. Brands don't want to risk being associated with Meghan and Harry anymore. They don't just bring headlines, they bring backlash. Even their charitable ambitions are in jeopardy. Philanthropy requires capital, and without it, Archewell's future looks shaky. The Sussexes refuse to downsize or pivot quietly. No, they're still projecting luxury, still flying private, still living the high life. But how long can they keep up the illusion? As the cracks deepen, Meghan is reportedly looking at new places to start over. Texas, southern France, even parts of Canada are reportedly on the short list. But let's be real here. Moving won't fix the bigger issue. Meghan can change her location, but she can't outrun the reputation that's now following her like a shadow. No matter where she goes, the story will still follow. The once shiny, aspirational image of the Sussexes is now tarnished, and relocating won't change that. But Meghan's desperation to escape Montecito is clear. A quiet life, free from the spotlight. It's become a distant dream. Instead, she's navigating a nightmare of her own making. The distance between the two of them, Meghan and Harry, is growing, and it's not just in terms of geography. There are whispers that their marriage is beginning to show signs of strain. The cracks are visible, even to those who once admired their unity. Harry, once so sure of his decisions, is reportedly questioning everything. His dedication to the Sussex mission, the freedom they promised each other, now feels like a gilded cage. As the pressure builds, sources say it's causing tension between them. Meghan's vision is still clear. She wants to change the world. But Harry's growing disillusionment with their path has started to cast doubts. The man who left his family, his title, and the UK to carve out a new life with Meghan is now facing the reality that he may have bet on the wrong horse. At the heart of this crisis is the simple truth: their future together is now uncertain. Meghan's relentless pursuit of her personal agenda is at odds with Harry's desire for peace. Their fairy tale narrative is rapidly unraveling, and what was once a unified front is now showing signs of stress. Even their public appearances tell the story. Harry looks more withdrawn, less certain, while Meghan continues to push forward, ever confident in her mission, even as the empire she built begins to crumble around her. The public hasn't missed the shift either. The Sussexes, who once commanded media attention with their every move, are now seen as more of a sideshow. The drama that surrounds them has become exhausting to the very people they hope to win over. Hollywood is a place of reinvention, but not everyone can pull it off. And right now, Meghan and Harry are stuck in a narrative that they can't escape. The signs are everywhere. Deals are drying up. Major partnerships have been canceled. The luxury lifestyle they once flaunted is no longer sustainable. Their brands Netflix, Spotify, Archwell have all fallen short of the promises they made. But the biggest blow? Their reputation. The story they told the world is no longer believed. And let's talk about the kids. Little Archie and Lilibet. What was once a carefully curated image of family bliss has started to look like a carefully constructed facade. Even Montecito's elite schools are hesitant. They've seen the drama. They've heard the whispers. The other parents are polite, but distant. No one wants their children caught in the PR crossfire that follows the Sussexes wherever they go. The truth is, Meghan and Harry can't escape the narrative that they created, and neither can their children. But the real kicker in all of this is the financial pressure. The Montecito mansion, with its $14 million price tag, is just the tip of the iceberg. The costs of maintaining their lifestyle, private jets, security, personal staff have all added up. And with no steady income flowing in from their high-profile deals, the situation is becoming dire. They've relied on Netflix, Spotify, and even Archwell to maintain their lavish lifestyle, but with deals falling apart, those financial lifelines are slipping through their fingers. Behind closed doors, sources say there's panic. Meghan and Harry are reportedly considering options they once dismissed. Projects that once seemed beneath them are now on the table. They're scrambling to find a way to salvage their once promising future. But what's worse? They refuse to admit it. They refuse to acknowledge that their narrative has failed. The illusion they've built of glamorous living, luxury, and a mission of change is beginning to crack. And instead of pivoting, they're doubling down. Still flying private, still shopping couture, still living the high life. But without the income to support it, that luxury comes at a cost. So, the question is, where do they go from here? Meghan's pivot to finding new places to live, new ways to reinvent herself might give her the physical distance she wants, but it won't erase the damage that's been done. Not in Hollywood, not in Montecito, and certainly not in the world of entertainment, where the Sussex brand is quickly becoming radioactive. In fact, the real issue is that Meghan and Harry are running out of options. As they scramble to keep up appearances, their once powerful brand is slipping away. The public doesn't buy their narrative anymore. Even those who once supported them are starting to pull away, questioning their every move. Their support is fading, and with it, their future in the limelight. Hollywood doesn't reward failure. It rewards reinvention. And right now, Meghan and Harry don't have a reinvention left to offer. Their second act, the one they promised would be just as dazzling as their first, is looking more like a disaster. Even their defenders are growing silent, questioning whether the Sussexes can ever regain the status they once enjoyed. As Meghan looks for an escape, the reality is sinking in. There's no new place, no fresh start that can undo the damage. It's not Montecito. It's not Texas, France, or Canada. It's their brand, their very identity that's crumbling, and no amount of moving or pretending will change that. The Sussexes may have walked away from their royal titles, but now they're walking away from everything they built since. And in the end, all they're left with is the question they can't seem to answer. Who are they now?